Við bara
Vinnudagur á morgun og svona.
Já. Skrifstofa KSI opnar klukkan 8 fyrramálið. Ekki sem ég mæti. En heyrðu, við ætlum bara að setja þetta í gang. Við tökum þetta bara á íslensku svo við getum, eða koma spurningar á ensku þá bara koma svörin á ensku. Við bara reynum að bara drífa þetta af svo getum farið að fagna fyrir alvöru. Ég ætla að gefa Heimi orðið til að byrja með.
Já, bara velkonir og hérna ég veit ekki hvar á að byrja í þessu ég veit ekki hvort að þetta bera þennan árangurstrákana saman við ykkur önnur íþróttaafrek á Íslandi en hérna og það að vera í ykkur pissukeppni en auðvitað erum við rosalega stoltir að þeim og við erum gríðarlega bara þakklátir að hafa verið hluti af þessum hópi og með þessum strákum og vinna með Lars. Við getum nú bara verið svona sammála í því að hafa verið heppnir að fá að vinna með þessum kalli og við erum svo stoltir af strákunum, ekki bara að við séum búnir að ná þessu markmiði heldur líka hvernig við náðum því það eru 2 leikir eftir í keppninni hjá okkur og hver hefði haldið það að Íslandi væri búin að tryggja sér inn á lokakeppni þegar 2 leikir eru eftir og það er svo mikið af einhverjum fyrsta skipti í sögunni hlutum sem gerðust á liðinni að það er eiginlega bara langt að fara að telja það upp það sem kannski skemmtilegast er áhorfendafjöldinn og stuðningunum sem við erum að fá. Ég held að við erum að slá met í hverjum einasta leik og það er bara það er ekki nóg oft sagt hversu þakklátur við erum stuðningsmönnunum okkar og hversu harðir eru og hversu þeir hafa í rauninni bætt sig með hverjum leik bara eins og leikmennirnir. Þannig að fyrst og fremst bara þakklæti allavega frá mér til Lars og stuðningsmanna og strákana að fá að vera bara með í þessu ævintýri.
Just a quick summary for all the non-Icelandic speaking. It was basically a long thank you for the privilege of working with the team, with the players, with the coaching squad and the staff. And it's a big adventure. It's been all the way and we hope to keep that adventure going. Fundur, hvernig líður þér í dag?
Mér líður náttúrulega bara stórkostlega og eins og ég tek náttúrulega undir það sem Heimir að segja. Það er náttúrulega búið að vera stórkostlega gaman að fá að kynnast starfsaðferðum Lars og taka þátt í þessu verkefni með strákunum vegna þess að þeir eru svona einbeittir að náð settu marki og eru mjög duglegir í því að vinna í sjálfum sér svona fyrir utan æfingatíman og þetta er svona bara búið að vera svona hálfgerð forréttindi að fá að vera í kringum þetta lið og ég er náttúrulega sérstaklega ánægður með markmennina sem við höfum notað í þessari keppni og samstöðuna þeirra þeir hafa staðið saman og ég er líka sérstaklega ánægður að við erum búin að spila 8 leiki og halda hreinu í 6 af 8 þannig að ég er mjög stoltur.
2 words or 3 words. Thanks, privilege and pride. Lars, you have anything different to say from the other 2?
No, I agree with everything they said. No, someone said to me that this is like a fairy tale. And in a way it is, but in another way it isn't. So that I think both Gudmundur and Heimir talked about. It's a lot of hard work from many people, and that I think is the most fantastic thing with this, with the players, with the staff, everybody we worked with for these years, and we have been getting better and better, and especially the players in a situation like this. Maybe we don't have to talk about the game today, but it was a difficult game. It's a lot of teams that had problems when you're going to take the final step, so to speak. But it's been absolutely fantastic, and you can really say tomorrow is another day. So I know a little bit French, but I should learn a little bit more Icelandic now, so I at least come up on that standard. But no, it's been fantastic. I don't really know what to say. I mean, it was big to go to finals with Sweden, but this is a little extra special. Both what I can feel anyway, the fans, the support, the pride that I think you can feel if it's the football team or someone else in Iceland doing something good. I think in a way you have a fantastic society. It feels like people really are in a positive way proud if someone is doing something good. So all the support we had and everything. So of course I'm saying that from my heart, but my own feeling is, of course, I don't find any better word than it's fantastic.
Okay, Eiríkur.
So maybe a bit weird questions, but do you guys feel like you're national heroes?
I definitely not do that.
But you must have felt the appreciation the people have towards you.
Definitely, of course, some is more personalized with it, so of course you feel it, but the best feeling, if you look what we have done, and also that Icelandic football taking steps. I mean, the clubs are doing good job. The youth national teams. I mean, it feels so good for if you love football that it's so positive. But they're writing about being a president or being a hero. I mean, it's a hard work. I mean, so many people think it's something magic. It's just that a group of people have worked very hard and had a really good cooperation, a good atmosphere, and of course we have some good footballers too. But of course it's great. But I wouldn't call me a hero. That's Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela and guys like that. But we did a pretty good job, I think.
Yes.
Coach, congratulations. Excellent. How big are your dreams for this team?
Yeah, of course, we know it's going to be tough to come to the finals, but then we only have really good teams to play. But we had pretty tough group also, and as they have developed for these 4 years, we have worked with them. I think we can now we get much more time. You get hopefully at least 3 weeks before the World Cup, and as these guys with the attitude, the way they are practicing, the way they take aboard our ideas. So I think we can take another step and be a little bit better.
Do you think you can make the World Cup the next time around?
I don't know. I'm probably not there then, so I'll be on the stand. I hope if I will be invited.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Voice less.
Yeah, I got a cold, so it's not because I'm shouting or anything. Heyman did almost all the coaching today, so it's because of that. But it doesn't matter today.
Were you at all nervous today? Because it was the stakes were high and it was a tense match.
Yeah, you always have a certain tension, of course, but you mostly get a little bit disappointed when we're not playing exactly the way we want to play. But especially in the end of the game, when Heyman and I discussed if we should make any changes or not. So of course you had a little bit of nerves on yourself when you are so close, because it was so nice to close it tonight. So now we can start preparing everything, both planning but also use these 2 matches, even if we want to play at our best. But I mean, Aron is away now, and I mean, it's easier to accept things like that when we already qualified. So it's fantastic to have done it. I mean, 2 matches left and we are qualified in a tough group. That's really a performance from these guys.
Heimir, getur lýst tilfinningunni að flauta af?
Nei.
Can you describe the feeling when the whistle blew? No.
It's like a walk in the park for Heyman.
No,
Ice cold Viking.
we planned it and it just happened, and so it's first when you reach it, it just seemed normal. We've been planning this the whole time, so you normally get an end result when you work towards some goal. So, but tomorrow probably you start to feel it. So it's just a strange feeling at the moment.
When it came into the job, I think you said during the first meeting with the players that your goal was to get the team to Brazil. You didn't get to Brazil, but you were close. Now you achieved this goal. Did you feel that it was hard to get the players to believe that this was possible?
You should ask them, but I didn't put it exactly that way. We have a guideline, you can say, that if we always perform 100% or if we always prepare 100%, you always have a realistic chance to win in football. And if we do that 100% all the time, you always have a chance to win. And I said, when Jaime and I talked about it, I thought it was a realistic chance. How big it was, we can discuss that, but it felt like the players took it on board, even if we had a tough start. We were lucky to have a really good teams to play friendlies against when we started, so we lost, 3-4 first matches. But we played well, and I felt that the players was on board, but I have one handicap, so you should ask Jaime, that is that the informal talk with the players, I can't follow that. I only understand a few words, so you learn more from that. But the way I've got to know them, I think they took it on board. And I mean, it's a big reason why we're winning is that they have the attitude. I heard someone said, Kari had said in an interview that, now we have 2 games, we don't need to care. Of course we should win these 2 games. And with that attitude, you can be a top footballer. If you don't have that, all good footballers I have been working with have that winning attitude. And if you don't have it, you're not doing it. So it felt like they took it on board.
From Croatia also, I think we learned so much from that game. The biggest knowledge we got from that is that we believed after Croatia that we can do it. And I think that's the biggest knowledge we got from that. We used that loss in many ways, and we improved the things that we needed to improve. And so I think we really used the loss against Croatia in a positive way.
But did you feel him when he said it from the get-go that he wanted to bring us to a major championship? Did you feel it yourself?
No, I thought he was a little nut. I remember maybe the first press meeting, or not a meeting, we went to a newspaper, and he said he wants to take the Icelandic national team to 50th place or something. And I looked at him and I shook my hand, but it was a newspaper, so they couldn't see it. But in the beginning I thought he was steaming really high. But I think from the start in the World Cup we did quite well. So the players probably slowly believed it, but after Croatia they know what they can do. So I think that's it. I think that's the key to lose against Croatia.
Question from a colleague in Kazakhstan.
I understand your situation now, and I know what you feel now, but sorry, but it's not big to correct. What do you think about play Kazakh team today, and did you satisfied today result time?
Yeah, both Jaime and I, Jaime has analyzed them much more than I, but we have both said all the matches we've seen on video and the first game we played also in Astana, you have a good team. I'm surprised that you have so little points, because the big difference I think is maybe that you are not scoring goals. Because you have really good footballers, I think you play a really interesting football with a lot of technical skills. So I have a lot of respect for your team, even when you lost so many matches in the end of the games. And I don't know the players, so I don't know why, but if we play for 70 minutes, I think you would have a lot of points. So I think you have a promising team, so if they just start scoring goals, you can be in the next finals.
If I can add to that, if you read it in the Kazakhstanese newspapers, that the coach, Yuri Knasodan, has done a marvelous job. The team is improving both tactically, and he's bringing in younger players who are playing better. So he's doing a marvelous job. But it's a patient, they need to be patient there. But he's doing a marvelous job, so we really like what he is doing there.
You have a really young team, as Jaime says. So the future looks bright.
Yeah. Which of the players, was it you or me? Sorry.
USA.
Which of the players reminds you the most of yourself as a player? On your spot.
If you compare with me as a player.
It's an easy, each coach, please.
Sorry?
I said for each, I'm sorry.
All three.
Each coach, which player on the team reminds you the most of yourself in the way that you play the game?
The kit manager.
Who actually has a sweet left foot?
Curly.
No, I would, to be honest, even if it's a humoristic question, I would call it. I would say, I actually give you a serious answer. Kari Andersson is most like me as a player.
That was a serious question.
Yeah, I understand that. That's no problem. I would say Kari. Tall, little bit slow, reading the game. I hope he don't mind, but he doesn't mind. But maybe I get in a bad shape when I meet him next time. Don't tell him.
I won't. No one here has a recorder or a camera.
Yeah, I would definitely pick someone on the bench because I wouldn't be good enough to play.
Yeah.
So.
What about just the personality of the way they play? I know there's a product on the field, but is there anybody that you look at and you kind of isolate and think that you relate to them, maybe with a work rate or with the role that they play on the team?
No, it would be unfair to say that. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
He's a fighter, so you can choose any of them you think is a fighter.
I would really love to be like any of the guys. I love them at the moment.
Well, I'm over from the U.S. and it's special to watch you guys. I think we are just getting overwhelmed by the understanding of what you're doing compared to what we could be doing. And I think I've been coming around the island just asking people people are talking about the geothermal warming of these indoor soccer halls, and obviously the coaching people are just thrilled about. But those two are two of the big things they talk about. Would you be able to add anything to that about how this has happened? It's I don't want to use the word phenomenon, but it's remarkable. I think we could all agree on that. So besides those two things.
I think you have one advantage being from a very, very small country. I think the micro perspective makes it more effective and easier to work. You don't have so many people to choose from, but it's the talented players you find or whatever you do in the society. If I compare with living in Sweden or in Iceland, I think that everything seems more effective here, and you have a control of things in another way, and you have in bigger countries. And I mean, your own country is so big and so different from different parts. Even if you can be patriotic when it comes to international affairs, maybe, but domestically you are maybe not that patriotic all the time. I don't know. That's my feeling when I've been in the States. But I think the micro perspective helps. But we have, of course, less money, less people to choose from. But micro isn't bad. I believe more in small countries than big. Sorry.
I would definitely give the credit to Icelandic youth coaches. They are probably among the best in the world. And we start coaching really early with qualified, really good coaches. So I would give them a lot of credit.
So your federation is the one that generates that momentum, or has it happened just in the communities that they've each wanted competitively to have?
Both. A big part is that we have an amateur football league, so you don't get better coaching from a Premiership club or a coach in the first division. So you get the same quality of coaching. So I think the quality of Icelandic youth coaches are exceptional. If you get my point.
I've heard the same.
Yeah.
Fabian?
Football in Iceland has been developing over the last 4 or 5 years dramatically. Is it already the end of the development, or is there more to come? What can we expect from Iceland in the next, let's say, 4 to 10 years?
21s.
I think at least we like to stabilize what we're doing. We like to what we're doing now. We like to repeat it, and that's continuity. And first and foremost, we have to realize that we can't start doing something else just because somebody says that's nice to have some other kind of football playing and passing game or whatever. I think that for the senior national team, the continuity is the best. But you can always improve, however good you are. I know this is a tremendous result in this group for us, but you can always improve. If you stop believing that, you definitely not improve. So of course we believe we can improve all the time.
So do you already have like a goal in mind for the finals of the European Championship? Is it like passing the group or anything?
Yeah, Lars always say we plan every game to win it. We're not like naive, but he calls himself a
pessimistic optimistic
realistic optimist. Yeah. So that's the word. But we plan every game to win it. And if we are successful in that, we'll probably be European champions.
All right, that's it. Easy.
No, I think to add to that, I mean, if you look back to my experience with Sweden, it's rather funny with Sweden that since the Second World War, they have qualified with the national team every second decade, except from they were there in the 90s. Then we shouldn't have been there the first decade, 2000, but we were there. But I think, as Heimir said, I think definitely, and what I have seen for 4 years, is that I think the club's getting closer and closer to Europe also. They're doing rather good results now. But the small countries, if you look upon history, it goes a little bit for the top teams, the national team and the top club teams, a little bit in waves. But I think that Heimir said definitely Iceland and we can improve, definitely.
When you first took over the team and implemented the 4-4-2, and you, after some testing out Gylfi's position, you found a role for him. Can you describe how that progression was, and are you happy with? Of course, you're happy with the end result, but what's the development and the process of it all?
Yeah, as you said, I must think a little bit. My memory is getting worse and worse. But one thing that we tested, as you said, was where to put Gylfi, because my opinion about top international football is that normally is very, very small areas inside the center of the pitch. We did the same with Sweden with Fredrik Ljungberg. He always wanted to play in the center, but we used him on the wing because we thought he had better spaces and could be more involved there. But that was definitely a wrong decision. So when we finally put him in where he is now, then we kept on going, because I mean, all the guys are really good, but Gylfi is exceptional, being such a good footballer, but at the same time with the working rate and the way he is defending, and also the same with our strikers. But I mean, what I think is really important if you don't have, to be quite honest, the absolutely best individual skills in your team, you have to find a team performance where every player can fill his role and do it for the best of the team. And that's what Heimir and I try to do all the time, to develop that and find the best player for the role, so to speak. We must say also, to be honest, I mean, maybe it happens sometimes with Sweden, but I doubt it, that we have had an extremely disciplined group of players.